Hi there. As someone who graduated from Cambridge last year, I can finally answer the question, is Cambridge worth it? I will share the pros and cons of coming to Cambridge while I take you to my graduation ceremony. I'll be walking you through the Hogwarts-style ceremony that even guests aren't allowed to attend. Keep watching to see how I almost set my college hall on fire. It's 9 in the morning, and while the weather is not bad in UK standards, little did we know a storm is just around the corner. We are at Ryder and Amy's to pick up the hood that I rented, which is part of the attire I need to wear to the graduation ceremony. See the gowns in the background? Luckily, I don't have to rent one since I can just use the gown that I've been wearing to formals, which I bought secondhand in the beginning of the term. We're trying our best to wear the hood. It's very kind of my boyfriend to help me secure the hood on my gown using a pin. It's funny that we don't wear the hood on our head, but we just drape it on our back like a cape. Because not all heroes wear capes.
5 minutes later.
Okay, I hope it's okay. Found a mirror. I realized it's pouring, so we decided to go to a Raspberry Pi shop to play with an Arduino and delay photo taking.
1 hour later.
The rain hasn't stopped, but we're going to take some photos in front of the Senate House because it's just gonna get more chaotic later and we're running out of time. Let's talk about, is Cambridge worth it? Starting from the positive side. There are 4 key benefits of studying here in terms of career, academics, networking, and environment respectively. The first benefit is it enables easier career transition. If you want to change your career like me, doing a Master of Philosophy here is time efficient because it takes less than a year. And by the end of it, you will have taken classes on most areas in your discipline and written a thesis on your independent research. We're now walking from the Senate House to my college, Magdalen College. In contrast, an equivalent research-based master in the US takes 2 years. And if you do not do a master's, it might take a couple extra years of work experience alongside self-study to transition to your desired career path. How much you learn in 1 year may be limited, but it can still achieve the same effect of signaling to employers that you've mastered the skills required in the field through a tangible degree from a hardcore university. In economics, there's the job market signaling theory that states that education credentials can be used as a signal to employers, indicating a certain level of ability that the individual may possess. Thus, it gives you more credibility for what you are able to do and can open more doors for you in whatever fields that you're interested in. Therefore, doing a degree here is a good use of your time if you'd like to accelerate your career growth. Thanks for holding the umbrella. Secondly, the academic rigor. The main benefit of the hard courses in Cambridge is not to gain knowledge, but to develop independence in learning. You learn how to learn independently because lectures here are very brief. I say lectures cover only 10% of the material and 90% is learned on our own. A lot of times you feel confused, but it's hard to pinpoint what you don't understand because there's so little that is covered, so you don't know what exactly you don't know. You may be wondering, isn't this a con instead of a pro? Let me explain why this lack of academic guidance is beneficial in the long term. It prompts you to investigate deeply on theories, consider new ideas, and ask new questions. You don't just learn hard skills, but learn how to navigate the unknown and train your mind to think clearly. If you persevere through the challenging academics, you become a more mature and resilient person, which is invaluable in the workplace and in real life in general. It is like training for a marathon. You get fitter and have more endurance. And after you finish the marathon, you find that running 1 kilometer is very easy in comparison. Doing a degree at Cambridge is like practicing and running a marathon. After it, you feel so good and you'll find other things to be easier in comparison. So next time you see a really difficult problem, you'll think, ah, that's not that bad. We have a briefing in the hall. I think they're gonna tell us what to do, like where to go. And we're currently in the first court. The third benefit is networking. I don't just mean networking in the professional sense, but also meeting people and making friends in general. I really like my cohort in particular because everyone is so supportive and friendly. It feels very natural to talk to each other. It's also great that my cohort is quite international. You probably wouldn't find such a high proportion of international students in an American university. We have peers from Australia, China, Japan, the States, the rest of Europe, South Africa, and the list goes on. Do you want to sit here? Next to Nelson Mandela? The last aspect is the beautiful environment. The architecture here makes you feel like you're living in a real-life storybook. Another thing that's really important to me is safety. I feel safe running alone at night. I can do my laundry at midnight, since I have to walk through some public space for 5 minutes to get to the laundry room in another part of the college. So I think it's a very pleasant environment to study in and live in. I'm listening to the briefing by the pre-lector of the college. We're lining up and doing a uniform check before we head off to the Senate House for the ceremony. We're now right outside of Porter's Lodge and we're about to head to the Senate House. The procession has just started. To be continued. I'll link part 2 for you to watch. To recap, we discussed what I liked about Cambridge, and in part 2, we'll talk about the downside of Cambridge. Nobody talks about the downside, so grab some popcorn and click on the video right here.